This is a Lunar Quasar 462. We're going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. In front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake, which will take you through in person here on site. In the front locker you have your gas bottle with your gas regulator going up to the bottom. It is a reverse thread fitment that goes into the bottle itself, and you've got an on-off valve for the gas supply on top. You can carry a maximum of 2 6kg propane gas bottles on the van at any time. Coming down the side of the caravan, you've got your wind down leg on either side at the front, and they are just there for stabilising the caravan, not lifting the caravan. So you'd wind the legs down to the floor, let them touch the floor, then when you're done you can wind them back up, ready to move the caravan again. But like I said, you'd never lift the van as it could potentially damage the floor of it. You've then got your heating and hot water flow here. You need to remove this cover anytime you're operating the caravan on gas. We do advise you get into a habit of removing this every time you arrive on site in case you ever need to ignite anything. You've then got your water pump connection coming into the side of the van. The water pump itself drops down inside the ack roll, and then you've got your blue trigger on the back of the pump itself to remove the pump and push it into the side of the caravan. You've then got your battery box with your quick release battery terminals on top. Do advise during winter storage that you disconnect one of these just to allow so the battery doesn't discharge itself. You then got your mains power lead coming to the side of the caravan also, and that connects into the power on site. The 2 vents that you see on the side of the caravan are actually fridge vents, so essentially they allow the hot air at the back of the fridge unit and take some cool air in. Behind the top one there is also a gas flue for when the fridge is running. 3 grey pipes you see on the side of the caravan is for the fresh water that goes into the caravan to come back out essentially once it's been through the sinks and the shower. So you'd have 3 bits of grey pipe that would drop down inside your ack roll, and that'll be your wastewater coming back out the van. You've then got your toilet flush tank on the side of the van. It'll take 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. So you'd put, like I said, 3.5 litres of water in and a cap full of the pink fluid. Then in the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette. You release it by pulling up the yellow handle and pulling the cassette towards you. The neck here turns out so you can tip the waste away. The yellow cap here is a measure for the pink and the blue fluid. And then you have an orange pressure relief button on the back of the cassette, so when you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. The cassette itself will need 1 litre of water in it and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. On the rear of the caravan, on either side, you've got 2 stabilising legs again, and they are just there for stabilising, not lifting the caravan. Coming down the door side, you've got your wet locker where you can put wet accessories in when you're on site, so you don't have to take them inside the caravan. You've got a 3-pin socket in there, so you've got power out to your awning should you wish to, and a barbecue gas point also. Going inside the caravan now, and on the opposite side of the caravan, you'll have your main control switches. So you'll see that you have a switch that says master next to it, which is for the master power on the whole caravan. So if I turn this off, everything inside the van will go off, including the battery charger. And when that's on, as you can see, the voltmeter comes back up. Below that, you've got your water pump switch, which I'll explain a little bit more about in a second. So the first thing we're going to need to do before we do anything else is fill the water system up. As you can see on the outside, I've already connected the ack roll. So we're going to need to come over to every tap on board the caravan and open all the taps up on the hot side, as you can see here. We're then going to come underneath, so that's the tap in the bathroom also and the shower. We're then going to come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the van, and underneath here you'll find a yellow valve. That yellow valve is your drain down valve for the water system on board the caravan. So to fill the system up, that needs to be parallel with the floor. To drain the water system down, that valve would point upright towards the bottom of the seat, and that would actually drain all of the water out of the system on board the van. So parallel with the floor to fill the system. Once that valve is parallel with the floor, you can then come over to the control panel. The control panel with the master switch on it and the water pump switch. And then you can turn the water pump switch on. And when the water system is full, you'll have water coming out of every tap continuously. Now in between each use of the caravan, we do advise you drain the water system down. The reason being is that you don't want any water in the system over winter, or when it potentially could freeze, as it will actually freeze the system up on board the van, and it could potentially crack all of the taps open, the pipework and the onboard hot water tank. So when you finish with the van, you always open up that yellow valve underneath the seat, so it's pointing upright towards the bottom of the seats, so all of the water on board the caravan drains out of the system. You'll also put all the taps to the central position and open them completely up, so it allows any any water that's in the taps, etc., to run back down the pipework and to draw some air through, so it clears out the system. Once you've got the water system full, you can then start thinking about warming the water on board the caravan. So down below the seat, on the right hand side, just down here, you have two switches. The one on the left here that says Ultra Store is your water heater. So you essentially turn that on for the electric water heater on board the van. The switch on the right is the main power switch for your Ultra Heat, which is your heating unit over the right hand side of the caravan, and I'll explain that in a little bit more detail in a moment. So like I said, water heater switch on, but only when you're on 240 mains and you've got water in the system. So essentially you need to make sure the tank is full before you do anything else with it. On the wall on the opposite side of the van, you have two switches. The first top switch is actually your water heater switch on gas. To operate the water heater on gas, you'd need to make sure the gas bottle is turned on. You'd then turn this dial round to the flame symbol on the side. I know you can't quite see it in the video, but there is a flame symbol down the side here, and you've got this little tab here which you need to point towards it. And essentially you have a green and a red light in the front of this control panel. The green light is a essentially the pilot light for the water heater itself. So when that green light is on, the water system has ignited. If the red light appears in here, it means the gas system has failed to ignite. When you are showering on board the caravan, you will need to ignite this so it works as a boost for the water system. And if you want to turn off the water heater, you can spin it on gas, you can spin it back round to the off position on the right hand side. As you can see with the numbers here, on gas you can actually control the temperature of the water heater between 30 and 70 degrees. Below that you have your control for the heating on board the caravan. Now depending on what site you're on, you may have either 500, 1000 or 2000 watts of power available. So again, the grey dial on the outside spins to select the correct power source down the side, and you will only know what power source you have available when you arrive on the site and you ask at the site office. You can control the temperature of the heater on electric, again on the dial in the centre here, but that is for your room heating, not your water heating. And that switch down there, as I said before, is your water heating switch. You can also, on top of the heater, run the heater on gas. So you've got a dial on the right hand side here that you can spin round. Press down the valve on top as long as the gas bottle's turned on. Then when the heater is ignited on gas, you'll have a pilot light in the window down the front of it. You'll then slowly release the gas valve after 5 to 10 seconds of it being ignited. Then you can control the temperature of the heater on the dial on top. The caravan is also fitted with blown air heating. So around the bottom of the caravan, you'll notice these white vents. And that works very similar to what your car does with the heating system in the car. You've got a fan speed on top here between 1 and 5, so you can control the fan speed. The dot in the centre allows the heat to come out the front of the heater, so a bit like when it's coming out the vents towards your face in the car. You then got a blown air symbol, so it circulates the air around the caravan. So that will be continuous blown air, and the heat will come out the vents around the van in different locations. If you put it onto automatic blown air, on this side here, it will essentially cut the blown air system in and out with the thermostat on board the caravan. Behind me, we have the fridge. Very simple to use. Power on the front control panel. At the moment we're connected to mains power, as you can see here. We can control the temperature of the fridge on mains with the button on the right hand side. To change the power source you want to use, you can press the button on the grey button on the left hand side, And for instance, we can change it over to 12 volt supply from the car when we're towing down the road, so the fridge works as a cool box. It is just there as a cool box mode, not as a fridge mode. So once you're onto that 12 volt symbol, like I said, when you connect it to your car, you'll be able to use the fridge to get the beer and wine nice and cold. To operate the fridge on gas, you can go to the gas symbol on the right hand side here. Again, you press the button to go over to the flame symbol. And down the bottom here, you've got a blue pilot light. So essentially when that light is blue and solid, that means the fridge has ignited. If it fails to ignite, the blue light will actually flash to let you know it has failed, and you'll have a 9 and a spanner symbol appear on the right hand side of the screen, just above the temperature icons. To turn the fridge off, you'll press and hold the power button, and the fridge will turn back off. Microwave, hob and grill all work very much like your household appliances, with your igniter on the front of the oven that you expect to see. And the microwave will only work when you're on 240 mains. The oven, grill and hob will work obviously on your gas supply. Toilet system in the bathroom, very easy to use. You've got a pump flush on the toilet, so you'll pump it up and down to flush your toilet. You've got a toilet full indicator light that lets you know when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. Below the toilet you have your grey waste handle, which allows the toilet waste into the cassette underneath the van. The toilet seat also turns for your convenience. However, when you're removing the toilet cassette from underneath the van, you need to make sure the toilet seat is pointing straight with the back of the toilet, so in the position it is now essentially. Otherwise it will lock the toilet cassette in place and you won't be able to remove it from underneath the van. The same as if the grey waste handle on the side of the toilet is open. That is the Lunar Quasar 462. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company and we'll be more than happy to help. We thank you for your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.